Hi, I'm JaVonne Williams, owner of Go-Go Party Bus Central Florida.
And I'm Tracy Swain, owner of Concept to Action Academy and Coaching.
And together we are two chicks in the city,
taking you through an entrepreneur's journey. Today's episode is sponsored by Concept to Action Academy and Coaching, where we take new and aspiring entrepreneurs from concept to action in 30 days or less. Join our community of action-taking female entrepreneurs by visiting www.concepttooaction.com. That's concept, 2, action.com.
In today's episode, we are talking with Nekia Foxx. While most beauty experts solely seek to change the physical appearance of their clients, Nekia Foxx, also known as the Transformation Engineer, focuses on the total individual from the inside out. The international speaker, best-selling author, and successful businesswoman utilized her empowering methods to make over and create wealth in every area of their lives, financially, physically, their mental mindset, and health and wellness. As a leader in the business and beauty industry, she is known for being a master visionary that creates a level of clarity and confidence sought after in order to maximize one's destiny. Nekia, a master stylist with a background in construction and civil engineering, is also the CEO and founder of Nekia Foxx and Company, also known as the Transformation Place. Known for the ability to heal more than beauty troubles, Nekia founded the Transformation Place as a haven for women who are ready to make a change in their lives, with her proven methods to lead the way. A collaboration of skills and services, the Transformation Place provides women with the knowledge and tools to go from not enough to more than enough, starting in their own eyes, through exercises geared at defining a client's self-worth, self-esteem, confidence, and clarity. As if that's not enough, she pushes success to the limits by all means, thriving in a male-dominated industry, being the president and CEO of FX Construction. Turning dreams into a reality on many levels, her credentials in these areas empower her to help others enjoy what she calls multiplex success. Success in every area of your life. The born and raised Floridian is a graduate of Florida A&M, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, known as FAMU, with a bachelor's of construction engineering and a minor in civil engineering. Additionally, Nekia obtained her technical degree as a board-certified cosmetologist from Indian River State College. Nekia's engineering background has gifted her with the ability to deconstruct while maximizing every component needed to construct the real you. You are not alone. We will walk your amazing transformation step by step. The company's motto is, in order to live your best life, you must become the best version of yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Nekia Foxx. Yay!
Welcome, Nekia.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
We're so glad to have you.
Yes, we are.
Well, Nekia, you have such a varied and I won't say long because you're, glowing beauty here. So it's not like not that you're seasoned, but you have such a varied and distinct background. Tell us a little bit about sort of what motivates you and what sort of started you down this journey.
Well, I had, I guess we would start the journey in the part of when I got out of college and went into corporate America. And I was working for different Fortune 500 companies in the construction arena. And I got to the point that one day I woke up and I said, it has to be more, right? Like I had succeeded in a lot of different areas of my life and I was not complete. I felt I was severely depressed. I was not, I made the money, I had the things, but internally I was at a rock bottom place. And that's when that started me on the journey of really working on personal development and really getting to the root of like, who am I and what I really want out of life. So that's what made me start getting into, okay, listen here, how can I help others? What's my purpose? What is the bigger factor of why I'm here on this earth? And that's what started the whole evolution of the transformation place. So it was birthed out of self-discovery and getting to the point that I needed to experience more out of life other than the titles and the things.
Oh, great.
Great. Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, it sounds like it's definitely much more fulfilling than what you were experiencing initially. So.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I think we all go through journeys, different seasons of our lives when we evaluate and assess what no longer works and what is working for us. And then we continue to move. And once you experience purpose-driven level of energy, it's nothing like it. So you literally continue to thrive off of it. And when you're living in your purpose, that's something that you can literally do without even trying. So I wanted to, I think every person, once they experience that, they won't turn back.
Oh, that's a great point. That purpose-driven. When you know your purpose, then you can feed on that energy for almost forever, to be honest with you. Yes. As we're talking about the transformation place, how is it that, or what do you do when you receive a new client in the transformation place? How is it introduced to them, and what could they expect out of it? Because it sounds great that you learn to find yourself and to be your best self. So take us through that. Let's talk about that.
Well, the transformation place was actually birthed out of a salon chair. So it started out with me really seeing and getting feedback from a lot of my clients. And it got to the point that they were no longer just coming for their hair. They were coming to really experience another level of sessions. And that's when I decided to come up with a structured system and program to be able to help walk them through with accountable steps. With a level of accountability and also actionable steps that they can start taking to be able to make a transition in their lives. So it started from the salon chair, being in the beauty industry for over 20 years, meeting so many women from all across everywhere in every aspect, and then seeing how the different experiences that I had was able to help them. I started literally working towards creating a structured, I went to the business speaking school to be able to structure it and become a motivational speaker. And through that, I started my coaching program. And when they come into me, when they're coming in the door, it really depends because we have literally two different tiers. It depends if they're coming for business aspect or if they're coming from getting clarity in their life. They just want to know what's my next step. I'm having different areas that I want to adjust. So we figure out what they really need. And when we figure it out as an engineer, it's all about getting to the root because it doesn't add up if the numbers don't add up. And same thing internally. If we're not getting to the root, I don't care what you do on the outside, it's going to always have to go back to that same starting point. So I like to walk my clients through really taking down those layers and facades of what they thought or what they are hiding and running from, and starting to address what are their gifts, what they value about themselves, because our gifting, what we value within ourselves is actually the value we give towards the world. And the world tells us our purpose. I walk them through just simple processes as what's the top 3 things that people come to you for on a regular basis. Normally, that's going to be your key sign to what your purpose is connected to, because that's the direct value that you add to the world. So we really get them to, for one thing, most people don't acknowledge their greatness inside, or they don't acknowledge the things in which they actually do very well for the world because they think it's just normal, right?
Right.
So I take them through the process of just really deconstructing. As a construction engineer, we're gonna take all these bricks down. So we're gonna take all this outside stuff down, titles, responsibilities and get to the root of who they are as a person, what they value, where they want to go, and how they see themselves. So I take a lot of my women through a process also of saying, listen here, let's go in here. And how do you see yourself in your head? Every woman has a vision of who she is, how she looks. We have a vision of our ultimate self. And I really want them to address through that process when we meet to get to the root of how can we get you to the point that you are now making that your reality, that woman can come to life. Like, what's stopping you, and creating steps for them to be able to really get to becoming the person that they really see themselves as.
Great points.
That's great. Yeah,
Great
absolutely.
points.
And I love that you say it all started from the salon and the beauty aspect, because I joke, and I think this is probably with all women, definitely with men too, but I always kind of joke, like, my hairstylist probably knows more about me than anyone, because I don't know what happens when you sit in that chair. It's like you just want to bare your heart. You just want to tell, a little bit of everything. So you have that advantage of the background and the knowledge and really being able to kind of peel the onion and really help the person out to shift from the chair to, their life and their business and everything else. So that's great.
Most definitely. And a lot of times, I live in my truth, and I live in telling the truth about my truth. And I think since I'm so transparent, that's where I've seen a lot of individuals be able to get their level of freedom or deliverance in situations, because at the end of the day, when they see a lot of the accolades and the titles and X, Y, and Z next to a person's name, or they see the person after they've hit the rock bottom, I tell them my truth. I've lost it all 3 times. I literally had to build myself back up, literally from the inside out. God has transformed me in a major way. And then it's no longer about me, because when you can see how you were transformed and you no longer are in a dark place and depression, you want that for every single other person that is experiencing that darkness in their life, to see that, listen, it can be done for me, it can be done for you. So no one is no special people. Everyone has the ability to truly live this heaven on earth. So it's not even about me anymore. The more I can do to help somebody else get out of their dark place, that's what I go for it on a daily basis. What services and tools can I get? Who am I to reach to be able to help them live their best life? It's not just my best life, but I want them to experience their best lives as well.
Yes, I love your story, that you actually have a degree in construction engineering, and look how the doors and windows and rooftops is opened into your other businesses, and where you are tying, connecting, like you're using the terminology, we need to deconstruct. Those are terms that you can use in the construction arena. You're actually applying it to your customers in the salon chair and say, hey, let's deconstruct this. So I love the fact that where you started is not where you're ending. And that along the way in your journey, you did fall and you did pick yourself back up, and then you went and you fell again and you pick yourself up. There's a lot to be said by you don't stay down. You get back up and doors continue to open for you. And that's what I love about your story.
Thank you. One thing I can say about the concept of, I try to get anybody that asks me a question or want to know how I did it. The construction arena, for the beauty industry to building, I tell everyone it's just like the 3 B's. From the beauty industry to building, I use the same concept. So when I'm looking for clients to be able to figure out, where do we start? How do we move forward? From the salon chair, from listen here, where's your hair today? How are we going to get you to following the same blueprint? Or the plan of action. It's the same concepts that I tell a lot of individuals. Every single experience that you have in your life has prepared you for your ultimate journey. So it doesn't matter what job you've done before. Those skill sets, those relationships, those lessons that you learn can all be applied ultimately for your purpose-driven part of your life. All of that is needed. I meet a lot of clients and they're like, well, I'm doing this and I want to do something else. And I try to explain to them, You're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you need to get exactly all the lessons that you need to get at your current experience, because I would have never thought going from doing curling hair to going and, ran a hard hat and getting on job sites with dirt and think that I would not feel uncomfortable at all. It was all about just being willing to change. And one thing I also like to address is, through losing it all, through loss is when I actually gained every single thing, because I don't cringe. Failure doesn't exist to me. Lack doesn't exist to me. That's through losing it is when I found out that I am the multiplier. Through losing it is when I found out that I have the blueprint internally to get it again. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly who to call. I know exactly what, I have the blueprint through going through that experience. And that's what a lot of people are holding and grasping onto crumbs sometimes, because they're thinking like, I don't want to fail or I don't want it to work. But really, through the toughest times, you can't win it all and gain it all if you're not willing to lose it all. Yeah. So through that losing it all process, because it's all about the process, through that process is where you're actually supposed to meet the real you. Through that process is when you get to meet your level of resilience. Through the process of saying, listen here, I'm going to transform my mind, that's when you're able to have a different perspective, and you don't look at it as losing it. I did lose it because I gained even more, because I'm not fearful of most things that others are experiencing that scare them from really chasing their dreams, because I was willing to go through the process of losing it. So when I'm able to express that to others, that's the beautiful part about it, is because now they can say, oh, well, okay, so if I look at it as just redirection and not failure, and if I look at it as I now just have another route to go instead of what I did before, then let me go at it. I have nothing to lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I feel like I've definitely learned through this process and in talking with lots of different entrepreneurs. One is that failure is really just a learning lesson, right? So it's not a failure, it's a lesson. And two, it's all about resilience, just being able to have that resilience, be able to pivot, be able to shift, and not see, not like, oh, I'm done, because you have to keep moving on, no matter what kind of what comes your way, right? So
absolutely.
So, and it sounds like that would be something that you would tell new entrepreneurs. I think that's one of the big things that, as I see people and what I'm learning, what else would you tell new entrepreneurs as they're getting started?
I would tell, okay, so if I could totally talk to a new entrepreneur, I would say, listen here, don't expect your family and friends to be your customers, because they're not. They're your family and friends.
Amen.
Right.
If you go into it with that mindset, you'll prematurely make yourself start doubting your actual experience, because you're starting to look at it the wrong way. Because your true supporters are the people that you've never met yet. Your true supporters are the ones that are all across the world. Your true supporters, not to say not supporters, but your true customers are the ones that you literally, through your story, even I break it down like this. It doesn't matter how many products. People aren't buying products, they're buying you. So the more that you focus on your personal development, the more that you focus on relationships, because it has to be the know, like, and trust factor. When you have that in place initially in the entrepreneurship realm, you don't have to sell anything. It's based on the foundation of who you are as a person is now venturing off into your business, and it works for you. So a lot of times people are looking at, oh, well, this must be perfect or that must be perfect. No, it's really you. If you can create an experience that after they encounter you, they're going to literally feel differently, you've done your job. You've done your job. You've made an impact. Right. You've added value. You've done your job. If I can tell a new entrepreneur anything, it would be, don't go in thinking that your immediate circle are your customers or your clients, because that might prematurely discourage
you. Yeah, absolutely. And just because you spend time with them does not mean you think alike, have the same values, have the same interests. So Totally agree. Just don't.
Even thinking about my journey, I would say, get used to hearing no. Don't let the first no make you run away or you just stop in your tracks. Let the no redirect your thinking. Figure out another way. Because I've heard no so many times. I'm like Tyler Perry. I was like, he's right. You'll hear a million no's before you hear one yes. And you have to keep going and get back up and figure out another way. And you hear no again. Figure out another way. You have to keep going. And those are the people that you find are successful in winning this entrepreneur journey. They are.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's totally different from a job, right? So that's that mindset shift that you really have to have, because it is not like a job.
No, it's not.
It's even the more. That's why it has to be connected to your passion and purpose, because you're going to definitely need it to continue with and see it through the whole way through. And just like you were saying, no. I tell a lot of my clients as well is that the no's is what allows me to sit in front of you today. Because if I wouldn't have had the no from this bank or this person, I wouldn't know exactly what to tell you today or what you should have. So I'm grateful for even the no's. The no's allows me to ask the unnecessary questions to bottom line it for someone else, so that they don't have to go in guessing. They don't have to go in question. So when I get a no, I'm like, okay, so that's great. Sounds great. And they're looking across the table for me like, sounds great. Okay, so if you can just give me the information that needs to be done the next go round, because we're coming back. Yeah. And we're going to get exactly what you came for. We're just going to get the exact steps to take. And I'm going to give this to someone else, and it's going to add so much value. So thank you for your no, because I want to know what to ask the next time.
And that is so you. That is so you, what you just said. So, Nekia, if you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I do quite a bit of product creation and product, creating different type of physical products for individuals. I will tell anybody to save them the money from having to get unnecessary warehouses and storage and staff and all this. Focus first on your distribution plan, and focus first on your relationship. That's the first thing. Because then you have to, it's nothing more costly than having to start from scratch and figuring out that you've done the whole process backwards. Because then those relationships are actually what are going to do the thriving movement of the products and services. So if I am telling myself I am not a people's person and I am a loner and I do well in business, that is no such thing. Right. So if I don't really work on really solid relationships, I will hinder my business ultimately, because when it's time to be able to collaborate, the saying, you can go there fast by yourself, but further with others. Right. That's how this whole concept goes in life. When we figure out that I can do so much more with others versus by myself, then I need to really focus on relationships. That's the first thing before I even say, let me make sure my relationships are solid. Let me make sure that I have literally added value to all of those that are around me or that I'm connected to. Let me do that, because whenever I decide to venture off into business, it's not going to be such a hard task to get the things going, because I have relationships. And that will cost you a lot, especially when I see, we go into it, doing the research and buying the materials, and you're doing all this other stuff without getting the foundation together. And the foundation of a business is relationships. If you have no relationships, your longevity in the business will be limited. So that's the bottom line. Yes. It's not the money. The money is going to come as the default. Right. It's the relationships.
Good point. Yep. Good point. I love it. So, Nekia, after after our listeners, we're talking business. After our listeners listen to your episode, how can they connect with Nekia Foxx?
Oh, Oh, it's so simple. You can go to www.nekiafoxx.com and my email address is info@nekiafoxx.com. So and then on every single outlet from Instagram to Twitter to my podcast, it's just Nekia Foxx.
Oh,
wonderful,
thank you.
wonderful.
It's
such a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for stopping by.
I am honored and grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
And we will welcome you back once you down the road and some other ventures have come to pass and other companies have formed, and because we know we can see this is just not the first. We will welcome you back to tell us all about your updates.
Oh my goodness, I look forward to it. Thank you so much. Thank you kindly.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and share with your friends.
Check us out on social media and visit our website at www.2chicksinthecity. That's TWOCHICS in thecity.com.